N-scale is in a bit of a weird place. On the one hand, it is popular. N-scale is arguably the second most popular scale in the world. This means that it has manufacturer support. But that comes with a bit of a caveat. Most manufacturers make HO scale as their primary product. This leaves N-scale as sort of a second banana in many companies' eyes. So digging through everything a company offers can be a bit confusing, especially if you're just starting out. Today I'm going to go over the biggest manufacturers of N-scale locomotives, what types of locomotives to look for from them, and a couple of other factors that you should consider. This video is brought to you with support from Trains.com. Trains.com is a fantastic source for new and used model trains and accessories. As a special offer to my subscribers, you can use the promo code JimmyDIY to get $10 off your order of $50 or more. You can check them out at the link in the description. For this video, I'm only talking about locomotives. There are many companies that make N-scale rolling stock. If you would like me to do a video on that, though, you can let me know in the comments, and who knows, I might do one. For North American locomotives, there are 5 main companies that regularly produce and sell N-scale locomotives. Those are Atlas, Bachman, Broadway Limited, Kado, and Scale Trains. There are other companies that do limited runs of N-scale locomotives like Intermountain, Athearn, and Rapido, but those 5 are the ones that you are most likely to find in a hobby shop or online. Let's go through each of them. Atlas is one of the big players in the North American model railroad space. They've been around forever, and they make items in N, HO, and O scale, including locomotives, track, rolling stock, buildings, and other items. They offer dozens of various N-scale diesel locomotives for every era. Atlas DCC Ready utilizes drop-in decoders for the most part, but also they're beginning to utilize the new E24 decoder, which is super small, and some of those E24 locomotives have a built-in speaker so that all you need to do is pop in a sound decoder and you are ready to go. Atlas utilizes a microtrains compatible coupler. Atlas also has tiers of locomotives in terms of price. Many of their Trainman line locomotives can be found for well under $100 and are solid runners. I have a couple of them on my layout. The only knock I will give Atlas is their lack of steam locomotives. N-scale is more of a diesel market though. Atlas, in my opinion, is always a solid choice when it comes to N-scale locomotives. I've never had an issue with any of my Atlas locomotives. Let's move on to another titan of model railroading. Bachman trains. They've been around for a long time and offer something in every major scale, including their own track system, easy track, buildings, rolling stock, and more. For N-scale, they're one of the most prolific producers of N-scale steam engines, including the most affordable N-scale steam engine, the USRA 060 switcher, which I'm pretty sure most N-scalers have had at some point. Bachman offers a variety of steam engines, including Prairies, Mountains, Hudsons, Consolidations, and even famous engines like the B&O EM1 Yellowstone, which I have, the Norfolk and Western number 611 Class J, and the Pennsy Streamline K4s. Bachman also offers a number of more modern diesels, including the Siemens Charger, which I recently reviewed. They also have affordable starter engines with several, including that 060 switcher that I mentioned. The Prairies are affordable, as well as their GP40s. Now, they have their own coupler system, but I haven't had too much trouble getting them to couple with other coupler systems, including microtrains. Bachman is also where you can get N-scale Thomas locomotives. Now, while Bachman has quite a variety of N-scale locomotives, if you're looking for many different road numbers, you're going to be limited on your choices. Bachman is really going to be a place to get you going in the hobby and also get some of the high-end steamers for N-scale. Now we're moving on to a slightly different manufacturer and one that has become one of my favorites, Broadway Limited. Broadway Limited is a relatively new company when it comes to model trains. They've still been around a little while, but they're relatively new when you think about Atlas or Bachman. They have made their name, though, in making high-end locomotives with custom sounds, lights, and smoke features. In N-scale, they have a variety of diesel and steam locomotives. They're not afraid to go a little different either. They've made 2 N-scale steam engines with smoke and have at least 2 more on the way. They've also made a full range of diesels, including F units, SD units, and some GE units. They offer DCC equipped with their Paragon series of decoders. Now, I would stick with Paragon 4 locomotives and N-scale, just FYI. They also offer DCC ready locomotives in their stealth line that already have speakers installed, and all you gotta do is drop in a Next 18 decoder. Broadway Limited also offers a lot of fantasy schemes for their locomotives, which is something you don't see often in N-scale. Now, they do also have microtrains compatible couplers, so you're good there. Broadway Limited offers high-end detail on all of their scale models, which is something that you don't see every day in N-scale. Now, for a rarer type of company, Kado. Kado is an N-scale primary company, which is downright odd. Their primary focus is N-scale rather than HO scale. Kado is known for their nice-looking and extremely reliable locomotives. Kado locomotives are the Swiss watches of the N-scale locomotive world. They just work. If your Kado locomotive stops working, it's more likely that it's user error. Take that from personal experience. They have simple and robust mechanisms that are pretty easy to order spare parts for, as a matter of fact. They offer a wide selection of diesel engines and a few steam engines, including a big boy which runs amazingly well. And they do have their own coupler system, which some people have mixed opinions on, but they can still work with other coupler systems. One of the reasons Kado engines run really well is their quality control. They own their own factory in Japan, and if you've ever watched a factory tour of their devotion to quality control is very obvious. They just understand N-scale. When it comes to N-scale, you really can't go wrong with Kado. The last company I want to talk about is Scale Trains. Scale Trains is the youngest company on this list, and they have been a bit of a disruptor in the model railroad space. They're best known for their high-detail rivet counter line of locomotives and rolling stock. Scale Trains is definitely an HO primary company, but they still offer a lot of N-scale models with a level of detail that is very impressive, especially for N-scale. A great example of this is their recently released SD40T tunnel motor locomotives, which are very hot right now. You can actually see right through them, just like the real-world prototype. Now, they're still a relatively new company, and their catalog of N-scale locomotives is growing. They're getting ready to put out their first 4-axle diesel in N-scale. It's a Jeep 30, and yes, I have it pre-ordered. Scale Trains also offers significantly more road numbers per model, which makes building out a fleet a whole lot easier. Seriously, you can get quite a few road numbers. Their locomotives either come with a Next 18 socket or an E24 decoder mount, with the newer models having the E24. So your older ones are going to have that Next 18, and the newer ones are going to have the E24. Please check before you buy a decoder. It will be interesting to see how Scale Trains grows, especially in N-scale. They're a different company that's working more on the direct-to-consumer model, and their president has some lofty ambitions. Okay, let's do a roundup. Atlas offers a lot in N-scale, but that is only diesels. They have a wide price range and are solid runners. They're a good choice all around, but no steam. Bachman has great budget locomotives and some really great high-end options, including a wide assortment of steam engines. They do offer limited road numbers and may not be the best for building a fleet. Broadway Limited are definitely higher-end locomotives and have a lot of detail and features, including smoke on some of their steam engines in N-scale. Yes, you're going to find a wide variety of engines in both steam and diesel, but only a couple of road numbers per locomotive. You do have some fantasy paint schemes with those locomotives, and that is pretty cool. Kado is the gold standard when it comes to N-scale. They just work, and they always look good running. You can always count on Kado for their reliability. They do offer steam, but your options are limited. Scale Trains is the newcomer to N-scale, but they came in strong with the rivet counter line. They have brought a level of detail not seen in N-scale. Their options are expanding, but not quite as fast as their HO offerings, which is to be expected. Look for more cool things from them in the future. As I said before, there are other N-scale locomotive manufacturers out there. I own an Intermountain SD40-2. I've had an Athearn F59 PHI on pre-order for 3 years. And Rapido is known to put out N-scale locomotives. If you're looking for an RDC, definitely check out Rapido. So what are your go-tos when you're looking to get an N-scale locomotive? Leave that in the comments below. And thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, Be kind and happy railroading.